Blue light, what is it and how does it impact our health and wellness? This episode is covering what is blue light and how does it affect our health. Dave is an exercise physiologist and a holistic movement coach. He is the co-owner of Kaizen Health Centre and the founder of the Holistic Movement Coach program based in the Sunshine Coast, Australia. Dave has a long history in elite high-performance sports conditioning and has worked with a wide range of world-class athletes. He also specialises in working with clients with chronic pain and injuries. He currently mentors and presents internationally to health professionals on integrating a holistic approach and cutting-edge movement techniques into health and fitness. Hi Dave, thanks so much for joining us. This episode all about blue light and what it is and how it affects our health. Thanks for coming on.
Nice to see you, Aimee.
So let's get straight into it. Let's give some people an idea of what blue light is. I mean, it's kind of a buzzword at the moment on social media with biohackers promoting a lot of blue light blocking options, and everyone's wearing these funny amber sunnies, and people are like, what is this blue light and why should I be so afraid of it? So give us a little bit of a rundown on what it is in the context of natural light, synthetic light. Give us a bit of a rundown.
Cool. Okay, so light, if I'm looking out my window at the moment, if you look out your window, you're seeing what's called full spectrum light, which is made of all the colours of the rainbow, your red, orange, your yellow, your greens, your blue, your indigos, your violets. So that's what full spectrum light is. It has all the colours of the rainbow. Now, during the day, particularly, in daylight sun, that colour's quite heavy in the blue spectrum. So particularly that morning sun, midday sun has got a nice amount of blue in it. And that sends a signal which goes through the back of our eyes and hits our retina there. And there's some specialised cells there that tells you it's daytime. So that's really useful because that helps us set up our body rhythms, our circadian rhythms, which, and if you think about how we operate, or how we all operate, is you probably get up about the same time, you feel hungry about the same time, you probably go to the toilet at the same time. You go to bed at the same time, you feel full of energy sometimes, you might have energy lows at some time, but all your organs, in fact, every cell in your body has a circadian rhythm. And those are primarily set up by the light and dark cycles. Okay, so I've got our full spectrum light made up of all those colours. But what we've got now, of course, is our artificial light. And that's been really useful because it's allowed us to be more productive when it's darker. But there's a cost to that because particularly modern day lighting is very heavy in the blue colour, in that blue light. So, and blue light is typically kind of around that kind of 400 to 500 nanometers. That's the kind of wavelength we talk about, the technical side there. That's the colour blue. Now, your LED lights, which are your modern lights, which are cheap to run and put out a heap of light, unfortunately, they're very, very high in blue light. And that's what you're seeing in your screens if you're watching this now, on your phones, on your tablets, and on your TVs. Also, your other lights as well. So your fluorescent lights are very high in blue light as well. And everyone blames Thomas Edison for inventing the light bulb. Well, in fact, those old school, the incandescent light bulbs, ones with the filaments in it, they actually aren't high in the blue at all. So they aren't good on energy though, which is the problem. But in terms of the amount of blue light they put out, they're actually quite low in that. So we've got blue light in our full spectrum light, and we've got our artificial light. Now the problem is that artificial light has the same impact that daylight has. So if you're at night and you've got your LEDs blaring at you from your TV, from your overhead lights, from your phone, unfortunately that sends that light into your brain, and your brain perceives that as it being daytime. So we've got a real problem there with your brain understanding what's day and what's night.
It's basically confusing our circadian rhythm and getting us out of whack.
Yeah. Now, confusion circadian rhythm is nothing. Most people are quite familiar with the term jet lag, and that's when you go to another country and it's supposed to be 3 a.m. and you hop out of that place there, and your body's going, oh, what's going on? And you feel like you've been hit by a bus because your body's saying, no, it's sleep time here. I should be in my deepest sleep. And that's what your cells are saying, but your eyes are seeing this light. So you get this mismatch, which makes you feel terrible for a few days until you get your circadian rhythm back. So what we have now is we have this term called social jet lag, where we're creating a jet lag for ourselves by not matching our physiology with our environment, by creating these artificial situations of light.
Wow, that is so interesting. So there's more to it than just avoid blue light. It's about when to get natural blue light and when to block the artificial blue light for us to get good sleep. So tell me a little bit more about how it affects our sleep, because if we're talking about it's okay to have the natural blue light in the spectrum in the daytime, and there are reasons for that, there are things that it does for us, then what is it doing to us if we are getting too much of the artificial blue light, say at nighttime when the light would have naturally reduced in color and not been blue? What are the effects having on us with that?
Great. Hey, just to go to a point there, which you really you put really well, which is one of the forgotten elements. So everyone's talking about blocking blue light, but one of the things you said there is right on the money. Is that exposure to that full spectrum light and that daylight is absolutely critical as well. So it's not just about the dark; it's about the light. So if we can teach our brains, our bodies, because every cell in our body has a circadian rhythm, when it's light and when it's dark, and what time of day it is, that bodes well for us being in a natural rhythm. So getting that exposure to daylight is really important, and getting exposed to real dark is important as well. And we don't really get much real dark as well. So I wonder, can I go there before I answer that?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's rewind and let's not skip over the important part.
Here's me holding my candle. Here we go. Imagine I'm holding a candle. It's 1 meter in front of me.
Yeah.
And the amount of light that puts out is what's called a lux, L-U-X. So, and that's the measurement for the intensity of light. When I'm caveman Dave and you're caveman with Aimee, and we're in our cave, maybe we walk outside our cave and have a look around just to make sure that there's no predators out there. Even at a full moon, you're looking at around 0.2 to 1 lux. That's about the intensity of light you'd see. If we look at a typical living room where you might sit just even underneath your lights without your TV on or your phone in your hand, you're looking at about 50 lux. So, you've got a 50-fold difference in the amount of light that you're being exposed to. So dark's not dark. So your brain's kind of looking at that and going, well, I'm not sure what time of day it is. It has no idea. So then we sit in our, during the day, we sit in our fluoro office there, which might be 300, maybe to 500 lux. Okay, that would be a typical lit office. But outside here, and I'm in Christchurch at the moment in New Zealand, and it's an overcast day, you're probably still looking 10,000 lux out there, 10,000. So again, you can see that our light's not light. On the Sunshine Coast on a sunny day, you're probably looking at 100,000 lux.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting in your dingy office, okay, all day, and you're kind of on your computer, your brain, again, it kind of thinks, well, is that daylight or what is that? It has no idea. So we're not getting those proper exposures to day and dark. And that's what we need to set up there. Now, the dangers of that, which is the actual question you asked, now that I've backtracked there, is that, well, your sleep's going to get ruined for a start. And the dangers of sleep, we can talk about that, but it's not just sleep, it's circadian rhythms across the board. So that can be your liver function, that can be your gut function, that can be any cell in your body, the way it functions. So it can disrupt any system in your body.
A good sleep is our underlying basis, isn't it, for good health? Without good sleep, we can't really get enough out of everything else we do.
Well, we spend a third of our life in sleep, which kind of tells you just how important that is. And, I kind of see some stuff here, people saying, oh, it's not all about sleep, it's not all about sleep. I'm saying, well, dude, if you don't have sleep, it's all about sleep, okay? There is more to recovery and regeneration than just sleep. But, boy, if you're looking at a big
body, it's so amazing. It can fix itself in so many ways without us having to do a lot of things. And the point with that is we need to often do less, and that's the rest and recovery and sleep and regenerate the cells to let the body do what its amazing capabilities are.
It's not a shutdown on a computer where it just goes dormant. There is so much happening underneath the scenes there Your liver's busy clearing out everything there. They've got little cells in your brain going around cleaning up all the debris and getting things right there. Those different cycles of sleep too are really important for learning, for consolidating memories, and particularly, you know, when I know we're going to talk about kids later on, I'm sure, because I know that that's one of the areas you guys work in a lot. But you know, if you're looking at development for kids and learning, that's absolutely crucial, is to get that sleep right. Kids need more sleep than adults. That's just the way it is. So as we get older, our sleep requirements actually decrease. So that 8 hours sleep, that's kind of the average for an adult. But kids need more, and they need it to help them grow and develop, particularly to learn. That's absolutely crucial.
And so many people say, oh, I sleep fine. But my question now that I'm so much more aware of how much you can get in your sleep without knowing it and being aware, not being conscious, is how good really are you sleeping? Because you could think that you're not off just fine at, 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, and you wake up at sunrise and you feel okay, but it's the long-term effects and the changes that we're having with the changes of our light that we're getting in our house. It never used to be LED, and now it is. It's also how much electricity, how many tech devices we have around us. So there are more variables, and people might still think that they're going to sleep okay and sleeping fairly well. But my question would be, really, how well are you sleeping? Are you getting the most out of that rest time? Because I would think most people probably aren't. Light would be one of the biggest factors. When the light is, how much good light you've had, how much bad light you've had at night, and then really how restful you are when you're going to sleep. I think that would be a big one, because it's true, isn't it? If you wake up, we were talking about this when we were just chatting in the beforehand about what we're going to chat about, and we talked about needing the burst of natural light early in the morning.
Yeah.
Not just reducing the blue light that we have at night, but also getting the good quality natural light in the day, but first thing in the morning. Because what does that do? Tell everybody what that really does for our whole body and then our sleep at night. What are the effects of that?
So again, it's about setting those contrasts and letting your body know what time it is. So that when that sun's highest, that's a real bonus, because nice and high in blue light, but also that vertical line comes down, and it actually is a great angle for hitting those cells that pick up those retinal ganglion cells, which pick up and help create that body clock. So there's a kind of a master clock in the center of your brain that where that gets set up. So that overhead light, strong, intense daylight, is beautiful for setting out that clock, and almost puts a stake in the ground and says, okay, that's daylight. Now I know where I am. Then when we hit that dark at night, okay, your brain goes again, now I know where it is. So they're anchor points. And there's a neat word, if you want to play Scrabble, called a Zeitgeber. Z-E-I-T giver. A signal that when in terms of your circadian rhythm, in terms of what sets up your body clock, light is the strongest Zeitgeber by a long shot. Okay. Now, food is probably important as well, and exercise can be quite important as well, but certainly light's number one. So, it's not that hard, and there's so many other benefits from getting contact with the ground, outside, natural light. It's more to it than that, but boy, what a great way to start your day. And that means getting your sunglasses off as well, which I know you're a fan of, Aimee. Getting some sun on your skin without getting burnt would be a great thing too, to get that exposure. Mm-hmm. And then getting some real quality dark. I mean, if you're lying in your bedroom, and remember, Caveman Dave and Cavewoman Aimee, we slept in caves. That's why we were cavemen. And it's dark in a cave. That's what caves do. Yeah. So if you can sit and you can wave at yourself at night and you can see your fingers, it ain't dark enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
you made me think of a question. Okay, so in nature we have the moon, and we would have fire as our light at night, and in the day we've obviously got the sun. So what about with the moon and the moon cycles, and how the moon is smaller and bigger and then it goes back and forth? How does that affect us? Does that have anything to do with our circadian rhythms? Does it have anything to do with how much light we need at night time? Because I guess not every single human would actually had a whole cave that was completely dark all the time. They might have travelled, changed locations with their tribe. Would the moonlight have affected us during the month?
All those light sources would have changed us, and we know this even as modern humans. Both my girls they're swimmers, so typically a swimmer gets up at 5 a.m. in the morning and trains. Summertime, for me, I'm very light sensitive, and this is probably why I went down the road where I went down here. And I'm as soon as it's light, I'm up. So when my kids swim at 5 a.m. in summer, it's a piece of cake for me to get up. I get up and I'm full of beans, and off I go. Wintertime, okay, when it's dark in the morning, okay, my Ezekiel says, it's not time to get up yet. And I get out of bed and you're kidding me.
Caveman Dave wants to stay in the cave longer.
Yeah. So those light sources have a really big effect, and our sleep changes with the seasons and what we're exposed to. But now, again, we have this social jet lag, and your body probably doesn't know what the hell's going on anymore.
So confused. All right, that's cool. Okay.
Of your office worker, you may have an office worker now who may get up in the dark. Okay, they flick on all their lights there. Okay, they'll probably dim lighting. They'll hop in their underground car park. They'll drive. It's probably still dark in the morning. They'll go in their underground car park again and go in their dimly lit office. They'll stay in their office all day. Maybe they won't even get out of their office. A lot of people don't get outside at all. They'll go back home in their car, go into their dark room, put on their TV and their lounge room lights. In terms of those signals for what's day and night and contact with the earth and all the other things around grounding, I mean, what is your body supposed to think about that?
It's like it's functioning on a lower level than optimal because of just what it's exposed to. And that is scary. And when I first started learning about light and how it affected us, I think the first thing I learned was blue light at sunset wasn't great. So because of the natural light outside, and when you're outside in the day and you're a bit more aware, you can see the light change. It's phenomenal. When I'm sunbaking in the daytime, it's a very blue tinge. And then towards the end of the day, you can just see the orangey.
It's pretty orange.
And it's so obvious when you actually look and think about it. So my first step was to reduce blue light after sunset by putting salt lamps, upstairs. We have a townhouse. It's 2 stories. And the first step was to put a salt lamp on, so I wasn't reading to blue light, I was reading to like a nice orange light. And that, instantly noticed that my mind was calmer quicker, my body was feeling more relaxed. And even though I'm a really light sleeper and probably always will be, I don't know what is going on there, but I didn't really feel like I slept better, but I felt better going to sleep. And I knew that had to be a positive thing because, I go from watching TV and sort of wired, doing things, cooking dinner and talking about the business and doing normal things. It wasn't really a wind down period until I sat in front of that orange light and felt really relaxed. And that was a nice way to wind down. And then learning about the fact that you need to change what light is going into your eyes and how much is going onto your skin. Then we sort of started changing our lifestyle up a little bit more, but adding in the good light was a big one. I could have easily just gone forever blocking the blue light at night time, and that's one aspect, but it wasn't until I learned about what you were saying about that first thing in the morning light, the way it changes during the day, and that basically a human is designed to be outside all of the time, to be exposed to the natural light in the way that the natural light comes and goes. I try to get outside as much as possible. And not everyone can, not everyone is able to revolve around light, but that getting that natural light in the day as much as possible and then reducing the blue light at night, I definitely notice a difference for that. I feel more awake in the morning when I sit outside at sunrise. And especially in winter when you do want to stay in bed and you're rubbing your eyes a bit longer, and then the reducing that blue light at night really calms me down. So I'm thinking in terms of people who live a high stress life, who are unhealthy as well, a lot of kids on the spectrum these days are going through lots of mood and behavior changes, learning difficulties, physical development challenges. Our bodies and our minds are at such a lot higher amount of stress for such a longer period of time than what humans would naturally have been exposed to way back. that's got to be coming down to sleep, light, as well as food and other lifestyle factors. But light would be a big one, wouldn't it? Especially for high stress individuals.
Absolutely. And I love that idea of that salt lamp, and we do salt lamps and candles.
The orange light.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Well, that's what we did when we were cavemen and cavewomen, is we sat around the fire, which is very low in blue light. And same with your moonlights, and have that blue colour, which signals daylight. So perfect way of getting your night sources of light.
And cheap. It's a cheap way. A salt lamp in a room is without other blue light around is just such an easy way and safe. You know, you're talking about flames and kids. A salt lamp is a really nice calming way for kids to go to sleep at night when they put their tablet down.